January 1, a celebration for the nation of the new African. What's the only way to make it in this society? It's to focus on our culture and our community. Our people fought, our people died, and our people should be proud. It's Kwanzaa time. Come on, shout it out loud. Unity. Self-determination. That's right. Tell them about it. Collective work and responsibility. Oh, yeah. Cooperative economics. Purpose. Harambe. Creativity. Kwanzaa time. Teach the children about it. Kwanzaa time. Dance, sing, shout about it. Kwanzaa time. Let's celebrate. It's Kwanzaa time. Come on, say Harambe. Everyone say Harambe. Wave your hands, let's take a stand. Culture, history, get up the mighty way. Wave your hands, let's take a stand. Celebrate, let's pull together. Every woman, child, and man, let me see you all. It's Kwanzaa time. Get up the mighty way. Wave your hands, let's take a stand. It's Kwanzaa time. Let's pull together. Kwanzaa time. Wave your hands, let's take a stand.
Baragani. Yes, indeed, it's Imani. It's our faith day today. Nothing but faith. And when you hear this sound, I don't know if you've seen it before or seen me before, but this is in honor of my Pop Grow Something. Because every time there was a story, Pop Grow Something would blow his heart. Today, I'm not going to tell a story. Told a story yesterday. What I've been doing on the Shamari show, Groundings, is introducing storytellers to you, because we all got different styles. On Monday, it was history, walking history. On Tuesday, it was Auntie Oni, and she had a podcast story. But today is a special one. This is an up-and-coming, youthful storyteller. She's new, but she's got a lot of stories inside of her. She wants to bring you a story about faith. Her name is Adara D. You got that? Adara D. And she's going to talk about Imani, which is faith. So I'm going to check you out again, Sundays at 6. Be sure to see me. I got a treat for you on the Grounding Show. Brother Shamari. Adara D, you're on.
Peace and love. Thank you. Thank you so much for those kind words. Thank you. Wow. This piece is called She Let Go and Kept the Faith. Where do I start? Well, you see, there used to be this young girl who turned into a young lady and then into a young woman. She wasn't always perfect, and sometimes her decision-making lacked logic because she chose to operate from the heart. Over the years of experiencing life, she had many challenges that caused her to carry loads of pain and sorrow in secret. A year ago or so, she began reflecting on some of those obstacles to the point where tears would pour down like rapid waterfalls. And some memories she'd reflect on and smile at how resilient she has been. to even be standing on 2 feet, as healthy and vibrant as can be. The brutal yet fruitful year of 2020 brought some miraculous miracles. One of those miracles being the chance to slow down and hone in on the people and things that truly mattered in this life. In the midst of all the purging everything that did not serve her, she discovered Kwanzaa and the meaning of this sacred holiday. Kwanzaa means first fruits, and it promotes the reaffirming and restoring of self and community. Woo! The timing couldn't have been any better to adopt such a wonderful celebration. The people in her tribe shared loving and purposeful knowledge each and every day from December 26th to January 1st, which was everything she had asked God for. Her tribe spoke words from the African language of Swahili to celebrate the Nguzo Saba, the 7 principles for each day of Kwanzaa. These principles guided her as she engulfed herself in the holiday tradition. These principles helped her plow through her very last test, closing the chapter of the year in peace, harmony, and respect. Today is the 7th day, as she visits the house of Amani, faith, which means to believe with all our heart in self. We go within and above to strive for a higher level of spirituality and a better life for ourselves and for those around us. Faith within thyself is the belief that you are the ingredient in all aspects of your life and beyond. And the ability to discern wherever you are not the ingredient, you must let go. Again, I'm going to say that again. It's the ability to discern wherever you are not the ingredient, you must let go. Now, this is the 7th principle. This 7th principle couldn't have been any more aligned to her journey than any other principle. Faith is what she had to embrace and choose, even through its battles that goes on within our hearts and souls and our minds. It's a fight of how she would go on, choose how to live her life. You see, this young lady was and still is me, LaQuinda Adara Dismuke. And faith is a choice I am making. I am choosing to eat from the fruit of love, because by doing so, I will emit and receive love. I am choosing to believe that I have the power and that I am the ingredient. I am choosing to believe in the goodness of my heart, despite whatever challenges come my way, and in the righteousness and victories of my struggle. I am the ingredient. I embody confidence to believe in myself in order to reach my highest self. So, what'd she do? She let go. I let go to be free, grow, and to love me. Happy Kwanzaa, Nguzo Saba.
And that is Sister Adara Dismuke. Thank you for joining. It's funny, I did a Facebook quote today, and I posted today, and it was about it's time to let go. so we can get going. It's time for us to get going, and we got to release some things. So I appreciate the resonance and the coherence and the ancestors kind of making sure that we stay on message today. On this day, Habaragani, Imani Habaragani, y'all, and also Happy New Year. Sister Adara, before you go, let our listening audience know a little bit more about you. Who are you? I think Pop grow something, Brother Nasheed Ali, because we always do the elder and the young thing. And if Baba could come back, because I definitely want to hear his voice before we close out this segment. But tell us a little bit more about yourself, Sister Adara.
Yes. So I am an educator. I've been educating for going on about 5-6 years now. And, that is one of my purposes. I fell into storytelling. About a year ago, I met my tribe and was accepted and welcomed into my tribe of Kotsi. I'm a young woman on a journey of life, and, people are my passion. So that is who I am.
And Baba Nasheed Ali, can you tell us a little bit more about that tribe, that Kotsi tribe that Sister Adara is a part of?
Yes, sir. Keepers of the Culture Incorporated. Yesterday, they did a marathon, a storytelling marathon from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Each storyteller had 5 minutes, and it was all different stories, all different styles. It was great. It was men, women, young people. There was a little boy there with his grandmother. They told stories. So what we do is tell stories of our culture, stories of our legacy. We tell stories of everyday happenings. We tell personal stories. Like Adira, she just told a personal story of how she came into the Nguzu Saba and her having faith enough to accept these principles and to live her life by those principles within her tribe. www.kotcinc.org is our website. You can go there, and it's a fabulous website, and it should answer all of your questions.
And for those of you who don't know, if you still don't know, KOTC stands for Keepers of the Culture, and that is what we must embody. So before I let each of you go, I want to ask real quick, in the spirit of Kuji Chagalia, second principle of Kwanzaa, self-determination, why is it important for us to own and tell and be our own stories? Sister Adara.
It's very important for us to own and tell our stories so that we too can, live and walk within our stories and just be a testimony to others, It's very important for the young people coming up from behind us to know, the light and the dark, and to have examples of, what we endure and what we go through, so that they too can see that and choose the light.
Mm-hmm.
So
Appreciate
that's
that.
the purpose. Mm-hmm.
And Pop.
Yes, sir. It's important for us to tell our stories because nobody can tell our stories. We live that experience. And when I say we, I'm talking about the collective. I'm talking about the Ko and the U and Ujima and Umoja. Only we can tell our stories. If somebody else tells our stories, we're going to be the under person. They're going to be over us. So the hunter can't tell the story. The lions must tell the story.
Mm-hmm.
I say, Pop, you on the spot. So please forgive me, but I can't leave this segment without a little bit more of your as you call it, juice heart. So I want to put this in context for you, Bob, so it's not just me saying, I went to this school right here. It's called Morehouse College.
Morehouse.
And I want people to understand Morehouse is a HBCU. It's a black college, as they would say. But kind of has some elitist stuff going on. And sometimes when people are raised in a particular way, we as black people are taught to be ashamed of some things, particularly when we're trying to become bougie, right? So I grew up with people like the idea that harmonica, wasn't supposedly dignified. It was associated with certain things, tap dancing, hoofing, as people would call it. Like you grow up, even the drum. These things are kind of in this culture, they're denigrated. And so I appreciate you always, and you know that I always ask you to do something with the juice heart, because it brings the dignity back to storytelling. It brings the dignity back to the ways that we use ourselves and our body and our breath and our life to communicate and to relate and to be with one another. And if it's something for me about Kwanzaa and Black history and Pop grow something on the air and keepers of the culture and storytelling, it is that we have to bring dignity back to our essence, right? We're about to transition, or they're trying to force a transition into this artificial world of artificial life. We have to say, no, we bring Black life, and we're going to bring Black life back in our Black way. So one of the things I appreciate with you, my brother, is that you bring that soul and that dignity back through the juice harp and through the story. I want to shout you out for the journey all year long, man. Just really being Pop Grow Something, embodying that role. You've become a living legend, man. I'm letting you know. My aunt was trying to ask me how to get with you. That's why it's been important for me to get you on air, because my aunt was like, "Who Pop Grow Something? What do you look like? I want to say it." So Pop Grow Something. I'm joking a little bit on that, but I'm not. Sorry, Anna, I had to put your cards out there. But just bring some life to us with that harmonica, man, and the soul that you bring as we enter into our commercial break.
Yes.
Okay, real quick, because that's what we do at Kwanzaa time. If we got talents in our family, we bring the talents to the inner gathering, to the gathering at Kwanzaa. So Pop Grow Something, I got many harps. Here's 3 of them that I use on the Shamari show. It all depends on what mood I'm in or what mood he's in, I use it. So this is my my Kwanzaa one right here. So to address what you said about, people take the harp and they distort the harp and they say, well, I don't want that harp because that harp is country. No, it's us. That's why we have to tell our story. Once it gets to somebody else's hands, once it gets to the European hands, it becomes somebody else. If we tap dance, we tap dance for survival. They take it, turn it around. We don't want to do it anymore. Same thing with the harp. You hold it in your left hand. You do sound effects with your right. If you want to learn it or if you want to teach it, you blow and you draw. And then you make your notes. Stevie Wonder made friends with the harp. He was a blind man, blind boy, sat on his step, he blowed his harp, played his bongos, he played his djembe drum, and all the children would be happy. The neighborhood would be happy. Right hand makes sound effects. High notes, low notes. That's the juice harp.
Pop, in one or 2 words, tell us what you just told us. What did you just offer us in 1 word?
Pick up that harp and blow.
There you go. And we bring life, y'all. Our life, our breath is our life. We lived the year 2020 where people have tried to take our life. They tried to take our breath. We must go into 2021. Bringing Black life, liberation, independence, freedom, and empowerment. We bring it through our breath, our offering, our soul, our blood, our sweat, our tears. It must water our future. Thank you, Pop. Thank you, Sister Adara. It's Amani, y'all. Habarigani.
Habarigani, Amani.
We're going to talk more about the principles of Kwanzaa, the Nguzo Saba, and also 2021. It's time for us to get ready and celebrate this new year. If you have some stories, some thoughts about Kwanzaa this year, hit us up at 215-634-8065. Toll free, 866-361-0900. Particularly, which of the principles is most important or most embodied for you? Hit us up. This is your segment right now. I haven't talked to the listening audience too much, and we got a jam-packed show today. So if you want to get into our conversation, now would be a good time. Hit us up at 215-634-8065, toll-free 866-361-0900. Going into 2021, which of the principles of Kwanzaa, the Nguzo Saba, do you think is most important that our people bring front and center if we're going to move into our power? We will talk with you after these messages.
I'm Councilmember at Large Isaiah Thomas. As the holidays approach, we've all heard the news. A vaccine for COVID-19 is coming. However, now is not the time to let your guard down. As COVID-19 continues to spread, keep wearing your mask, practice social distancing, and please avoid large gatherings. It will take time before we all can get the vaccine. Until then, keep yourself safe, your family safe, and your community safe. We will get through this pandemic together. Stay safe, everybody, and please stop the spread.
This WURD Kwanzaa vignette is brought to you by Temple University. Habari Gani from WURD Radio. The 7 days of Kwanzaa are dedicated to the Nguzo Saba, or the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. Today is the 7th day of Kwanzaa, Imani, or faith. Today is a great day to take an introspective look at how we represent and celebrate our culture as individuals, as a family, and as a community. It's an excellent time to capture stories from our elders and preserve those stories through the arts, as a podcast, or on video. Today is the final day of Kwanzaa and the first day of the new year. This is an opportunity to establish goals and speak into existence a message of peace, prosperity, and togetherness as a family and as a community. For more information about Kwanzaa, visit WURDradio.com. This WURD Kwanzaa vignette was brought to you by Temple University. Temple University made major strides in HIV research, fought against COVID-19, committed $1 million to anti-racism initiatives, and more. As always, the owls shine no matter what.
Happy holidays, WURD family. I'm Sarah Lomax-Reese, President and CEO of WURD. I think everyone will agree that 2020 has been a year to remember. Between COVID-19, the protests against systemic racism, and the presidential election, we have a lot to reflect upon this holiday season. And in the spirit of Sankofa, we have to look back to look forward. That's what we're doing in our new podcast, onWURD 2020 in Black. You can listen now on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to podcasts. We hope you'll check it out. As I reflect on this tumultuous year, I see the unique role that WURD, one of the only remaining Black-owned talk radio stations in the nation, has played. Through our hosts and our programming, we have been committed to speaking truth to power every day, all day, in service to our people. As we close out this year, we hope that you will be inspired to continue to support our work by becoming a 4WURD member. Visit WURDradio.com/join now for details about our special holiday discount. Your support is what allows us to experiment with new projects like our onWURD podcast. We are grateful to this community for supporting our work through this extremely difficult year. We wish you a safe and healthy holiday, a happy Kwanzaa, and a new year filled with peace, power, and possibility.
Groundings with Brother Shamari right now on WURD Radio and WURDradio.com.
Say that again. We have been positioned to think that it's an honor for white people to assume a position, a prostate position, and scream out, "I can't breathe," which were the last words of a dying black man. They condition us to think that that is an act of honor and showing support.
And welcome back.
Wow.
I'm not sure if it's back on me.
We breathe.
So I need a cue.
Our breath is our life. We're here today to honor life. So for a minute, I just want to...
Okay, I can't hear it. Cool.
Life.
So you're going to have to signal me when it's my time back, because I can't.
Life. 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 Where the power? Life. 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 Like we mean it. Life. 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 Blow it up. life, 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 for the spiritual forces, our African forces, who we ask to
Life.
lead us this day
Life,
on our journey,
life,
our
life, life,
to
life,
black life,
life,
mountain,
life, 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 life,
black life,
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 for our children,
life, 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 life,
for our children,
life, 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 life,
for our elders,
life, 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 life,
for our future,
life, 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 life,
for our people,
life, 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 life,
for the future, y'all.
life, 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 life,
And in honor of the
Life.
ancestors,
life,
made
Life.
it possible
life,
for us to be
Life.
here this day,
life,
declare this
Life.
country for black
Life.
life.
life,
Ashe.
Ashe, life,
Ashe.
Ashe. And welcome back to Groundings, Evolutions, Elevations with Brother Shamari. And you heard us, y'all. We bring black light. So let's enter into 2021 committed to our duty, our obligation, our responsibility to bring black life. Let's bring it in our thinking. Let's bring it in our expression. Let's bring it in our actions, our deeds, our words. Let's bring black life to our people. This is Groundings, Evolutions, Elevations with Brother Shamari. And today is the final day of our celebration all week long, right here at WURD Radio of Kwanzaa. It is Kwanzaa time, and today's principal focus is Imani, which means faith and belief and hope. So we're going to talk about Imani today. We're going to talk about Kwanzaa today because, again, Imani is the last day of Kwanzaa, but today is also the first day of the new year, and it's important for us to bring in that new year correctly, with purpose, with faith, and let faith, Imani, lead. What does that look like? So I want to draw your attention again. Had a chance to really kind of dig into this book a little bit more. And the book I'm referring to is Kwanzaa, A Celebration of Family, Community, and Culture, authored by Maulana Karenga, the creator of Kwanzaa. I just want to tease out a few things today that are going to guide our conversation throughout the rest of our day. And that is the idea, number one, of Kwanzaa, meaning and being rooted in the idea of first fruits. And lesser so, but also in the idea of the harvest. So we're going to play some music today that celebrates the harvest and the idea of the first fruit and the idea of the farmer and agriculturalist. So I really want to, kind of vibe a little bit on that in our 2 o'clock hour with some music and some footage just to get us in a celebratory mood because, as I look at people in 2020, literally Black people having to line up in food lines, just like we were back in the Great Depression. And you heard Pop talk about it, the laughter about, the denigration about that being from down south. And yet, those of us up here up north literally have to stand in food lines in order to eat during this context of COVID that we find ourselves in. What's funny about that? So, this idea of being self-sufficient and the people of the land and the people, who understand and appreciated agriculture and the people who foundationally, even agriculture as a foundation of the civil rights movement, agriculture, the farmer, the land workers, as the foundation of the way we practice holistic health. All right, bring this home, Brother Shamari. The agriculturalists, the farmer, the land workers, as the way we practice the science of our religion, the science of our spirituality. And as importantly, the agriculturalist, the farmer, the land worker, as the essence of our martial agriculturalism, our martial arts, our freedom fights. If you go back and you understand the Kikuyu people, if you understand the Maroons, if you understand a lot, even our brothers and sisters of the Haitian Revolution, a lot of them were at the core farm workers, toilers of the land, who used those implements of that work and turned them into the instruments of our liberation. They brought Black life through their relationship to the land. We have to return to that way because the artificial cave people are trying to turn us into artificial digital people. And we can't let that happen. We have to hold on to our Black life. We have to bring forward the Black Ankh. And then Kwanzaa celebrates what is called the Nguzo Saba, the 7 principles. And again, if you want to understand the thinking, the philosophy, the science behind the holiday of Kwanzaa and why and how it was brought to us, I encourage everybody, read Kwanzaa, A Celebration of Family, Community, and Culture, because it lays out the thinking behind, the foundational kind of philosophy behind the origins of Kwanzaa. And the idea of the 7 principles, but why principles? I want to read this because one of my goals is for us to move into what I'm calling Nguzo 365 Black. And that just means living principally, Black principles every day of the year. But I'm going to read this chapter about why principles, because sometimes we hear words, but we don't really kind of go any deeper than that. The purpose of the principles. What was necessary then was to make a selective analysis of continental African cultural values. And I want y'all to hear that because this is a very Pan-African celebration. One of the things that I like about it, the potential of it, the power of it, is that when we allow it to do so, it makes room for us as a Pan-African people. The language, the symbols, the concepts, the principles invite us to be Pan-African. And I want us to honor the spirit of that. So it's rooted in continental African cultural values and choose and establish the ones which would best serve the interests and aspirations of the African-American family, community, and culture. In terms of the interests and aspirations of the African-American people, the Nguzo Saba were developed and offered as an Afrocentric value system, which would serve the following basic functions. This is why principles and values matter, y'all. And look out into our communities and we understand what we lack when we lack principle and value. Number 1, organize and enrich our relations with each other on the personal and community level. That's what principles do. And as you can see, based on epidemic levels of homicide and dying and letting our elders die and letting our children suffer, we lack the value systems, the principle and the moral code to hold each other accountable and to raise up a standard of expectations about what Black life means. Number 2, establish standards, commitments, and priorities that would tend to enhance our human possibilities as persons and as a people. Number 3, aid in the recovery and reconstruction of lost historical memory. We should remember and believe. We're going to talk a little bit and do a lot of music around remembering and believing. Lost historical memory and cultural legacy in the development of an Afrocentric paradigm of life and achievement. Survival's not enough. We got to resurrect our sovereignty. Number 4, serve as a contribution to a core system of communitarian ethical values for the moral guidance and instruction of the community, especially for children. And lastly, number 5, contribute to an ongoing an expanding set of Afrocentric communitarian values which would aid in bringing into being a new man, a new woman, and a new child who self-consciously participate in the ethical project of starting a new history of African people and humanity. With these observations in mind, we can now turn to the rich meaning and message of the Nguzo Saba themselves, both in the context of Kwanzaa and in daily life. We bring Black life. We must bring Black life, liberation, independence, freedom, and empowerment through our daily walk, our daily respect of our Blackness, our daily respect of our culture, our daily respect of our history, but also our present and future. That is what Sankofa means. We use our history as a way of plowing forward and bringing forward power into the future. Last thing I want to read today, because one of the things that interests me is the symbols that go along with the principles. And so the principles are stated in Kiswahili, but the principles, the principles are stated in Kiswahili. The symbols that accompany them are actually very Pan-African. They come from a lot of different places. So I just want to read into the record the symbols that you see associated with each principle. So the principle of umoja, unity, to strive for and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. That is it, and forgive my pronunciations, I might get some of these wrong. That is a daginat, which is a Pan-African symbol of unity found in several African countries, i.e. the Yoruba, the Hausa, and the Bushongo, etc. So again, that symbol is a daginat for umoja. The symbol for kuchijagalia, which is self-determination, to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves. That is the ahenwa, the Akan throne, the symbol of national identity, cultural integrity, and rightful governance. The principle of ujima, collective work and responsibility, to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and our sisters' problems our problems and to solve them together. That is the Akoma Into Aso, which is the Adinkra symbol of shared effort and mutual obligation. Then the principle of Ujamaa, cooperative economics, to build and maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses and to profit from them together. That is two interlocking half circles, the Nsabidi, which is a symbol of togetherness and family. The principle of Nia, purpose, to make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. That is a Kemetic symbol. It's called the Nefe, ancient Egyptian symbol of beauty and good, restoration, y'all. Kuumba, creativity, to do always as much as we can in the way we can in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited it. That's the 7 vibrations of divine creation. That is a Dogon, people of Mali, a Dogon symbol of creativity. And last but not least, today's principle, Imani, faith, to believe with all our heart in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. That is, again, another Kemetic symbol. It is the ancient Egyptian double symbol of the Ankh, which means light, and the Jed pillar, which means stability and endurance. And it serves here as a symbol of steadfastness and commitment to the good, the right, and the beautiful in life. So again, y'all, on this day of Amani, let's have faith and hope and belief in our ability to bring forward Black life into 2021. Because in 2020, it seems that the Terror Dome was committed to bringing Black death. We must commit equally and even more powerfully to our duty to bring Black life, liberation, independence, freedom, and empowerment. And dare I say also, Black excellence, Black sovereignty, for real, on our terms, unequivocally, no retreat, forward ever, backward never. When we come back from commercial break, we'll be joined by Mama Maisha and Sister Malele to talk more about their reflections of this Kwanzaa 2020 And today, Happy New Year, 2021, January 1st. Let's make Black life happen. We will talk with you after these messages.
At Champion Dentistry, we want to make sure your smile is as healthy as it is beautiful. Whether you're calling for a routine checkup, calling about a newly developed toothache, or interested in learning about cosmetic dentistry options. Our services include routine checkups, cosmetic dentistry, gum care, laser dentistry, and more. Champion Dentistry is in the Overbrook Farm section of the city, easily reachable by public transportation. Call 215-473-4717 to schedule an appointment today or visit championdentistry.org, the House of Smiles.
This is not a fad for us. We will not resume our regular programming when things die down. We're not black to help our bottom line or because it's politically correct. We're not joining a fight. This has been our fight, our message, our people. Black lives have always mattered here. We are undeniably, indefatigably, unapologetically, permanently Black Talk Media. WURD. Groundings with Brother Shamari right now on WURD Radio and WURDradio.com.
Evolutions, Elevations with Brother Shamari as we celebrate Imani, faith, the last day of Kwanzaa, but the first day of a new year and hopefully a new you and a new commitment to Black life, liberation, independence, freedom, and empowerment. That's what we do right here, WURD Radio 96.1 FM, 900 AM, and on Groundings, Evolutions, and Elevations. So I want to jump right in and hand it back off to the dynamic duo that's been joining us every day we've been on air to talk about Kwanzaa. They've been on with us because, to me, that's Mama Kwanzaa right there. So if we're going to do it right, we gotta get her sanction on it. So Mama Kwanzaa and Sister Malele, it's on y'all.
So heavy Kwanzaa on this last day of Kwanzaa, Imani faith. And what we say during Kwanzaa is the day of deep meditation, Seku Yatamuli, where we're supposed to think deeply about the year that left and the year we're facing in the future. Mm-hmm. So this is a day called Seku Yatamuli. And Kwanzaa, as you were sharing, Shamari, it's based on the first fruits harvest, but it's also an edges of the year celebration, where the ending edge of one year meets the beginning edge of a new year. So it's a powerful time, and we should really be reflecting on what that means. The last year, and certainly we know 2020, we had some issues. But I've been thinking about this, in my time this morning during my reflection and everything. I mean, I participated in a Karamu last night, a virtual one with Dr. Karinga and over 100 people. And that was just beautiful to be able to do that. And he left us with the importance of us thinking and using the Sekou Yatamuli. So I came up with this thing called COVID consciousness. And it's really something that comes from a little driven, not behind that COVID has caused us to be much more reflective of how things have happened. But what Marcus Garvey also taught us that conditions can create consciousness, and that the conditions of COVID created this consciousness, and we've had less distractions, right? And we've had time for more quality time with one another together. Right. Parents and children together. I find out people are reading more. People asking, what's a good book to read? Who's reading this? I'm seeing a lot of little book clubs. Yeah, the Kwanzaa book, right? And
now this book is really I'm reintroducing myself to it. This is a very powerful book for beyond Kwanzaa as well. And I really want people to dig into it. It's a very powerful piece.
That's why we only recommend it, because all these other books he can give you pages on one symbol. Pages of narratives about where this one symbol, the importance of it, this one principle. In these other books, they have little shallow kind of explanations. They don't go in deep into the culture. And this is why we only recommend the book, because he's the authoritative source on it. He's put a lot of time.
And can I say this about Dr. Karinga? Because I normally work with a lot of teenagers and people who are in their mid to early 20s. Dr. Karinga, y'all, he was only in his mid-20s when he produced research and came to give us the Kwanzaa celebration too. His mid-20s.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, that's a bad man right there. I mean, come on, in his mid-20s. When I was just doing the math a couple years ago when Kwanzaa turned 50 years, I said, wait a minute, he's this old and this holiday. I said, this man was in his 20s. It's something else. It's something to be proud of for all of us.
So we want to encourage people to read the book so they can get the deeper meaning of everything. Mm-hmm. It's not a shallow celebration just about what we call the 3 F's: food, fashion, and festivals. Mm-hmm.
We know he has all these books too.
These are all the other books he wrote. We got every book Dr. Karinga wrote. but he told us to avoid the 3 F's always: of food, fashion, and festival. Yeah, that's good to have those things, but always go deeper beyond it. What is the meaning behind the food? Not just that it tastes good. Where does it come from? The origins? How is it prepared? So Kwanzaa definitely is more than just food, fashion, and festival. And the book is very important to read, to learn how deep it is, just how expansive it is, and just the fact that it encourages you to be reflective on the last day of the new year when everybody else is dealing with hangovers, too much New Year's Eve. Our guidance is it's a time to be reflective of this edges of the year and be more proactive and more pro-planning. Yeah. So this COVID consciousness that this COVID, that we've created this, we got less distractions. People always ask me, what's a good book to read? Do you want to be in this book club? I'm getting all these offers to be in these book clubs all the time, these little study groups, all these virtual kind of things, right? And people are doing more crafting, doing more distance learning. People are taking more online classes. And because you ain't out there partying now, you ain't going out to the movies, your work is not a distraction, your children are home with you, and for better or worse, the relationships that you may be in could be either strengthened or challenged. It all depends, But this COVID consciousness is something that we need to build on, because if this is suppressed, if this plague is suppressed, how do we continue the good that came out of this? One of our teachers also from the Ifa tradition is that we're supposed to bring good into the world and not let any good be lost. So even though COVID has been a bad, so much loss and all of that, there's a good that came out of it too, in terms of the ability for us to focus more on our relationships and what's important to us. So how do we take that good that came out of it and not let it be lost? How do we build on it? Mm. So I want to focus on that for the 2021. When you're asking us, well, how do we see it? I see that leaving that in 2020, but how do we strengthen and build on that for 2021? This relationship building, this quality time together, the time we have to study and do things more deeply, the way we outreach and check in on one another, the way we're being supportive, even though we can't be with each other, that we're still supporting one another. How do we build on that? How do we build on this consciousness that came out of a crisis? That it was a more self-consciousness now. It was a crisis-driven consciousness, but how do we make it a self-consciousness to strengthen us as a people?
I would love, and I can't give you homework, but I would love for you to really expand and reiterate this tonight in the conversation on Zoom when we celebrate Kwanzaa, with the Southwest Philadelphia community. I forget what we're called right now, South Philadelphia District Services, but because I really think that some of the feedback we got from your appearances on here is about how, this conversation about how this goes beyond the holiday and becomes a very practical praxis for people. People have really been appreciative of those offerings. And I think that that's important with what you do, but I also am hoping that you'll be able to show the candle lighting and will we be able to set that up such that the people can see that process as well?
Sure, we can.
We'll be able to hold it up. I'll zoom in on there if I need to.
We'll get another location where we can have a wider view where you can see it. I'll be glad to do. I'm sure it'd be an honor to do that.
And Sister Malele, just some thoughts, some highlights from places through the week, since most of what was going on was virtual. Just sign us off with some highlights of some of the things that made Kwanzaa 2020 unique, that stood out for you, and then where you would direct people if they really want to kind of learn more, because we had a lot of people, particularly in our conversations from the continent. We'll be talking with them in our 3 o'clock hour as well, who for them, this was their first time ever hearing of and celebrating Kwanzaa. So if you want people to really kind of follow up and learn more, such that this is not really the last day, right? This should be the springboard day for a principled living kind of life. Where would you lead those people?
Sure. So I already want to say, I know I have a lot of homework on behalf of my community, because next year is going to be the 55th anniversary. You know how we love those 0 ending and 5 ending years to just go crazy. So
I'm 55, and that's important.
Okay, yes. So I already know, we got to go extra big and big, and I'm already ready for it. I'm hungry for it, as a matter of fact, because this year made me realize how much I need it. And so as an example, yesterday evening for Karamu, so for people who don't know what a Karamu is just it's a word for a gathering where you have something to do with food and people, and it's a time in which you rejoice and you do things together. So there was a woman last night, as an example, who was singing some songs from Tanzania, and that's in East Africa, and they speak Swahili there. And she was letting us know that she created a song from scratch that had to do with Kwanzaa, and if not for her learning of it virtually and other things, but she also spent some time living in the United States, she was like, I'm connected to it now. It's mine. It's here with me. And I really enjoyed hearing that. And so that's one thing that it's a universal component. No matter if we living in Brazil, if we're in West Africa, wherever we are, we can connect to Kwanzaa. So some of the great things that still transpired in our Philadelphia area, as an example, is we still went through. We still have Boathouse Row. We still, which consisted of the houses, which they should still be red, black, and green right now. And, we were able to have a band come through, Little Big Sister, and sing the Black National Anthem. We still poured libation. We did it all virtually again, but we still did it all. We still did it, but again, we know that we as African people of African descent, we need that touch. We need that time together. Mama Aisha was able to create a big 6-foot Kinara candle holder with Brother Zumbi, and it was featured in New York City. And then normally Mama Aisha, here's an example, she teaches people to make these smaller ones, these smaller Kinaras at a make it and take it. We already ready to cut wood and getting ready for y'all for next year, because we miss it. And I didn't realize, I've been so used to having it for 40 plus years that I didn't realize how much it kind of like can contract when you don't have it. I'm like, well, damn. Sorry. And so I can't. And then you go into your Facebook history, as an example, and you see all these years of things that you were doing around this time for 7 days that reaches to you at the top of a new year, and it follows through with you. That's the way how Kwanzaa is built. Kwanzaa is really built for it to be a 365-day approach. And so, it's just been some wonderful things going on all around the United States, as an example. And I know, because I purposely took the time out to put in a Facebook search the information for the start of the state, and I just put in Kwanzaa. And then I went around the country, and I was posting and connecting and communicating and seeing what they were doing. I was going to their live events. It's just wonderful. And I see now too how it is that we need some support, because there's certain areas that are easily fixed that need support, such as how people need to know how to light the Kinara, the candle holder, properly. Something like that. Once somebody finds out that they know how to do it the right way, they're so appreciative. And,
right.
And something like that, it's just like, go ahead with yourself, go do it right, and you got it, and we're thankful. So tonight at 7 p.m. all of you are invited virtually, but this is something that has been going on in person. This is not something that just came up this year. In Southwest Philadelphia physically has been there, but it's online now. And Brother Shamari is a big component of it. Thank you, Brother Shamari. But, you know, if you felt like, dang, I haven't been singing the Black National Anthem in a minute, I ain't heard it. You know, here we at the top of the year, 2021. Get your libation on. Hear the drumming. Hear the storytelling, right? Pop World something. He's gonna, you know, tell us some stories again. And it's gonna go all the way until 8:30. And I'm actually gonna post it in the information of this Facebook Live for you to see it if you're online by chance. But if not, the meeting ID, if you're able to join via Zoom, the meeting ID number is 835-791-3441. And the password is easy to remember. All right, let's get this, y'all. All caps, SWPDS.
So Malele, we come up on commercials, so can you repeat those quickly one more time?
Sure. The number for Facebook, for Zoom to log in, 835-7991-3441. And the password is SWPDS. You also can dial it, and I'll say that after the commercial.
All right, coming up on the commercial break, when we come back, Mama Kwanzaa and Sister Malele going to tell y'all how to tune in to the Philadelphia Community Classroom. You can also do a Facebook Live by going to Philadelphia Community Classroom and participate. Our virtual Kwanzaa celebration is part of the Brothers of West and Southwest Philadelphia and the Southwest Philadelphia District Services. When we come back, we'll hear more from Mama Maisha, Mama Kwanzaa, and Sister Malele. Talk to you after these messages.
All right.
This message is from the Philadelphia Department of Public Health. COVID-19 is still a threat in our communities, but we can all do something simple to help stop the spread. It's critically important to wear a mask or face covering whenever you're in public or around others. Yes, even while social distancing. Wearing a mask shows you care for yourself and your community and is essential to slowing the spread of COVID-19. So love yourself, love your neighbors, wear a mask.
This WURD Kwanzaa vignette is brought to you by the Curtis Institute of Music. Habari Gani from WURD Radio. The 7 days of Kwanzaa are dedicated to the Nguzo Saba, or the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. Today is the 7th day of Kwanzaa, Imani, or faith. Today is a great day to take an introspective look at how we represent and celebrate our culture as individuals, as a family, and as a community. It's an excellent time to capture stories from our elders and preserve those stories through the arts, as a podcast, or on video. Today is the final day of Kwanzaa and the first day of the new year. This is an opportunity to establish goals and speak into existence a message of peace, prosperity, and togetherness as a family and as a community. For more information about Kwanzaa, visit WURDradio.com. This WURD Kwanzaa vignette was brought to you by the Curtis Institute of Music. The Curtis Institute of Music educates and trains exceptional young musicians. And to ensure that admissions are based solely on artistic promise, Curtis makes an investment in each admitted student so that no tuition is charged for their studies. Meet Curtis today at curtis.edu. Go. Keystone Plus and JD's Auto Body and Painting. Habari Gani from WURD Radio. The 7 days of Kwanzaa are dedicated to the Nguzo Saba, or the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. Today is the 7th day of Kwanzaa, Imani, or faith. Today is a great day to take an introspective look at how we represent and celebrate our culture as individuals, as a family, and as a community. It's an excellent time to capture stories from our elders and preserve those stories through the arts, as a podcast, or on video. Today is the final day of Kwanzaa and the first day of the new year. This is an opportunity to establish goals and speak into existence a message of peace, prosperity, and togetherness as a family and as a community. For more information about Kwanzaa, visit WURDradio.com. This WURD Kwanzaa vignette was brought to you by Pico, powering communities, Keystone Plus, and JD's Auto Body and Painting for all your auto body and detailing needs during this holiday season. The WURD Radio newsletter, keeping you informed, engaged, and connected. Sign up by visiting WURDradio.com. Scroll to the bottom of the page and type your email address under Connect with Us. You'll receive the latest information on WURD Radio, messages from our president and CEO, Sarah Lomax Reese, exclusive articles and multimedia content, and resources. Stay informed with the WURD Radio newsletter. Lifting every voice till earth and heaven ring. This is WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia. Black Talk Media. Groundings with Brother Shamari right now on WURD Radio and WURDRadio.com.
And welcome back to Groundings, Evolutions, Elevations with Brother Shamari as we celebrate the Mani, which is faith. Final day of Kwanzaa and the first day of the new year. See how that goes together. So I want to come back to Sister Malele. Mama Maisha, Sister Malele was giving us some insights around some highlights from Kwanzaa as it was kind of virtual this year, kind of different flavor, but definitely some gems and some power to pull from that. And then also she was reminding us of our upcoming event this evening at 7 o'clock. The Philadelphia Community Classroom will celebrate Kwanzaa and the New Year. So, Sister Malele.
Yes, peace, everyone. So, please continue to embody Kwanzaa, throughout the new year. And we're just really thankful, too, for those who reached out to the Kwanzaa Cooperative, which is an organization we're a part of, to ask us questions about starting Kwanzaa for the first time this year, because they were home, or it might have even have been people who are essential workers. And they only had certain days from which they could take off. And they were like, when I do take off, I really want to be able to embrace something, and I want to do something with my culture. And we were really thankful to hear that too. So tonight, you still can continue to celebrate Kwanzaa and doing it virtually at 7 p.m. tonight, all the way until 8:30. It's going to be a packed event. We encourage you to even bring your black eyed peas if you still have some, and some greens. Sit in front of it, eat it like I'm going to be, just do it how we know how to do it. And you go to at Philadelphia Community Classroom. That's one of the ways that you can access it. And I just look forward to hearing and seeing and even meeting some new people virtually. But I will be honest, we can't wait to the time that we can actually be in person again. And if you're going to just join us via Zoom, a way that you can do so is the meeting ID number is 835-799-91. Or you can meet us on Facebook Live too. That number again is 835-799-3441. And the password, all caps, is SWPDS. And if you're someone who's like, listen, I'm going to be at work, I can't even be in front of a radio, but I can't have my phone near me on speaker. And if you want to dial in to hear what's going on, you can dial area code 646-558-8656. So various ways in which you can engage. And please spread the word. Let people who may have not even heard of Kwanzaa yet, but hey, check into this activity that's going on tonight. And it's safe. It's not anything to do with anything that you will be concerned about in an intergenerational way. The oldest person of your family to the youngest person in your family. It's a safe space for them to be. Nothing will be there to be disrespectful of them. And so please come out. We look forward to seeing you there.
Sister Malele, I thank you for that. Mama Maisha, before we close out, are there any final thoughts, reflection, words of wisdom that you want to offer?
No, just that, to think about how we can continue this here, this consciousness we have about things we value and those we lost and things we miss, and what can we do to carry this feeling forward and to act on it, right? The thing is, how do we act on it? And this is another thing that Dr. Karenga tells us. We talk these things and we come up with these grand ideas and we never do it. He calls it a myth of action. We say we're going to do it, but it becomes a myth. And we just say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. So start small with a small goal. Have a small goal. A relationship goal, maybe with your children or whoever your mate is, or with your coworkers. Have a small relationship goal and how you improve that. Then have a small goal on how you can become more engaged and involved in your community. Positive way. Create these small short-term goals and work towards them. What can I do in my community to make it better? You could have a faith, a spirituality goal. So try and make yourself more goal orientated, right? And goals with accountability. That you're gonna have some benchmarks. I'm gonna check in the 2 months and see how far I am with it. If say it's a 6-month goal, midpoint you look and see if you need to redirect or you need some more resources or what you haven't done, and be honest with yourself. Why you're not moving forward? Is it external things stopping you? Or is it internal? But we have to make the best of this time we have, where we can be self-reflective to get some growth out of it. Get some growth. All this death and suffering shouldn't be for nothing. It shouldn't be for nothing. We need to honor these ancestors we lost this last year by making this world a better place, for us. So that's what I want to leave with. I want to leave with that. Yes.
And there needs to be nothing added to what was just dropped. That is definitely our charge, our call, and our commitment for 2021. 2020 cannot be in vain, and it has to be something that elevates us more powerfully forward. Yes. We have to use this moment in that way. So I thank you, Mama Maisha, Sister Malele, for your support throughout this Kwanzaa, and I look forward to vibing with y'all some more this evening at 7:00 p.m. right there at the Philadelphia Community Classroom.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay.
All right, y'all, it's the 2 o'clock hour, and we're going to celebrate Kwanzaa Shamari style. We're going to go a little international. This is what we're going to do, because I'm going to hand this over to my producer, Jordan. So I'm going to set it up and let y'all know what's coming. And then for the next hour or so, hopefully I get the chance to be quiet and sit back and enjoy. I told y'all we're going to celebrate the idea of the harvest through dance and drums. So I got some video clips and some music for you. We're going to start it out with a little bit of Arrested Development, a piece they have called Heroes of the Harvest. Then we're going to go into a drum rhythm and dance called Kankoba, which shout out to my brother Zumbi, Baba Zumbi, who reminded me not to forget the kind of harvest and first fruit components of the Kwanzaa holiday, and that was important. So I dug up some drum footage in celebration of that. Then later on in 2 o'clock hour, one of my favorite songs, I Remember, I Believe. Y'all heard it earlier this week, Sweet Honey in the Rocks version. I'm going to get to one of my favorite versions as well by Liz Wright. And then a conversation with Sister Kim Poole. Yeah, Sister Kim Poole is the sister from the Teaching Artists Institute. She'll be joining us along with her colleagues in the 3 o'clock hour. But I want to dig up a conversation she was having about us as the rhythm people, and how our rhythm and our culture is part of our Black sustainability. So we'll share a little bit of that conversation. Then later on in 2:45, almost 3 o'clock hour, we're going to talk again about our need to chant up and remember our power, our purpose. We need to believe again in Black life, and we need to bring Black life. And then we'll close out with another of my favorite renditions of I Remember, I Believe by Sister Brenda Impambo out of South Africa. So trying to get some Pan-African flavor into our celebration, our respect for, our remembrance of, and our belief in principles, the Nguzo Saba, and our Black power, our Black life, and our Black sovereignty. So I want to lay all of that out, because after we go into and out of commercial breaks, I'm handing all of this over to my producer, Jordan. That way people can experience it without interruption, and hopefully all goes well. I might every now and then pop in and say, this is Groundings, Evolutions, Elevations with Brother Shamari right here, WURD Radio, 96.1 FM, 900 AM. But other than that, Jordan, time is yours.
I'm Councilman Alan Dom, and as the holidays approach, we've all heard the news. A vaccine for COVID-19 is coming. However, now is not the time to let our guard down. As COVID-19 continues to spread, keep wearing your mask, practice social distancing, avoid large get-togethers. It will take time before we all get vaccinated. Until then, keep yourself, your family, and community safe. We will get through this pandemic together. Stay safe, stop the spread.
Happy holidays, WURD family. I'm Sarah Lomax Reese, President and CEO of WURD. I think everyone will agree that 2020 has been a year to remember. Between COVID-19, the protests against systemic racism, and the presidential election, we have a lot to reflect upon this holiday season. And in the spirit of Sankofa, we have to look back to look forward. That's what we're doing in our new podcast, onWURD 2020 in Black. You can listen now on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to podcasts. We hope you'll check it out. As I reflect on this tumultuous year, I see the unique role that WURD, one of the only remaining Black-owned talk radio stations in the nation, has played. Through our hosts and our programming, we have been committed to speaking truth to power every day, all day, in service to our people. As we close out this year, we hope that you will be inspired to continue to support our work by becoming a 4WURD member. Visit wordradio.com/join now for details about our special holiday discount. Your support is what allows us to experiment with new projects like our onWURD podcast. We are grateful to this community for supporting our work through this extremely difficult year. We wish you a safe and healthy holiday, a happy Kwanzaa, and a new year filled with peace, power, and possibility.
Groundings with Brother Shamari right now on WURD Radio and WURDradio.com.
And welcome back to Groundings, Evolution, Celebrations, Brother Shamari. That segment just celebrated the harvest. And the heroes of the harvest, we are an agricultural and a nature people that's returned to our natural selves. Now, a message for our global connection, y'all. We are the rhythm people who remember and believe in Black life, Black liberation, independence, freedom, and empowerment. So let's remember and believe with Liz Wright, and let's listen to Sister Kim Poole as she reminds us what it means to be part of that rhythm nation.
I don't know how my mother walked her trouble down. I don't know how my father stood his ground. I don't know how my people survived slavery. I do remember, that's why I believe. I don't know why the rivers overflow their banks. I don't know why the snow falls and covers the ground. I don't know why the hurricane sweeps through the land every now and then. Standing in a rainstorm, I believe. Heda maleda, heda, heda maleda. Heda maleda, heda, heda maleda. Heda maleda, heda, heda maleda. to send me home on my way. Raise my voice for justice, I believe. Hater, 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 my way. Hater, 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 hater,
Greetings and welcome to the 5th Black Sustainability Summit. My name is Kim Poole. I'm a Soul Fusion performer and also the founding fellow for the Teaching Artists Institute. I'm here because I want to ensure that we understand as a community the important role that artists play in sustainable development. In many ways, from the African worldview, artists have always been fully integrated into community development for the functionality of the community. I'd like to begin by basically highlighting the drummer and the griot. So we're all familiar with that beat, right? We are the rhythm people. We have an oath in the Teaching Artists Institute that says, "In the beginning was heart drum. With this vibration, we give rhythm to the world. On this beat, we sing life. We are the rhythm people." So aesthetically, we all understand how whether you're in church on Sunday morning with that tambourine or in the club on Saturday night, you understand, Black people, they get it. We know that we're connected to the beat and that it does something to us internally. But in the African worldview, in the village setting, the drummer had a very practical role. The drummer was a communication system. In times of threat or doom or war, the drummer had different beats, right? He played different cadences to prepare the community for battle. If there was a transition of life from elder to ancestorship, there was a different cadence played to capture that. In new birth, there was a cadence played during ceremonies to invoke ancestral spirits, to acknowledge and pay homage to new life, having the opportunity to do that and to pay homage to the mother carrying that life. The drummer was not just the beat on the track, right? As we like to say with our hip hop heads or our house heads. The drummer had a very practical role. I'd also like to take a look at the role of the griot. A griot is simply a storyteller. But in the African worldview, the griot held the history of the village. They were an archive, a walking, talking library. They also brought that history to the youngest generation to ensure that they understood their identity. And so the griot was twofold in that way. Very practical, a walking archive, library, so to speak, as also a teacher for identity shaping, for a sense of belonging and membership in the next generation. And so those roles of artists, like we have today, Nollywood or Hollywood, right? These storytellers, they don't hold the history of our people. They aren't walking libraries. It's simply for entertainment. And so what we've found is that now that African artists are no longer living in an African context, they've begun to separate community development and community functionality from their art forms. And what has that done? It's culturally derailed us in a way that ensures that we will absolutely not be sustainable as a Black community. So the question is, what do we have to do now? Let's deny that. Now it's time for us to realign our African worldview with sustainability. And how do we do that? The first is by activating the art of possibility, by realizing that art is not, like it's seen in the European context, a museum separated from the community, somehow on a hill, something that happens at the hands of experts. Art is everybody. All of us are artists. You are an artist. The moment that you decide to create, the moment that you allow the energy to encourage you to want to share that creation, you're now an artist and you're a part of the artist class. Welcome. Artist is not singing just for the soloist amongst us. In the African worldview, especially in South Africa, you find beautiful songs that join in. You find the Negro spirituals in the Black experience. That was a group effort. We whistle while we work. We sing. We do it together. It doesn't matter your skill level or expertise. Singing is for everybody. Resynthesizing the African worldview into every facet of what we do will help us to learn how to reintegrate artistry into our sustainable development practices. So I was saying that the museum in the European worldview, it's separated from the community. Art is for an elite class of specialists. Art is a thing that we do for fun, that we go to, that's separated from us. And this is why. Because art in the European worldview is based on the statue, the thinker, right? He goes like this. Do you remember him? Well, it's based on the concept of I think, therefore I am. And this is a very individualistic theory, pedagogy, school of thought that's very foreign to the African worldview, because our knowledge base, our indigenous knowledge, is based on a very simple concept from the Zulu people called Ubuntu. Ubuntu, simply translated in English, translates into the words, I am because we are. And that reminds us that we're all connected, and our art and our art forms are just as connected in ways that help us understand the relativity and the synergy of our practice and our theories. The individual thinks as an individual for him or herself, but the African-centered artist, they think about their art as it applies to the community's trajectory. So there's no such thing as artistic expression outside of the community's development. So how do we get back to that in a practical way? I don't want to talk about theories that don't give us an opportunity to explore best practices. What I love most about the Black Sustainability Conference is that it provides a template. It's providing a template for practice, for hands-on experiential learning and doing. I appreciate the opportunity that they've given us to talk about art from an African-centered perspective as it relates to sustainable development. And I would also like to let you all know that in the Teaching Artists Institute, we are also working on best practices. So this year, I want to let you know that you are all invited to the 4th International Conference on Art for Social Transformation, Artisan 2020. This year, it'll be in Tanzania, in Bagamoyo, that historic city, as well as online, and you're all invited. What we do with this convening is we bring together some of the best and brightest artists, traditional and non-traditional, to operate as facilitators, integrating their art form into an area of sustainable development. We understand that artists at this stage in our development as a Black people, they need to be re-engaged to decision-making tables. Artists, because we've lived amongst European rule for so long, have been relegated to the help, right? You're the entertainment. You are the hired help for the aesthetic. You make our walls look better. You make our esteems higher because we know that you're here and we enjoy that. But we want artists to teach other sectors how to be just as creative. Artists, when activating the art of possibility, they teach every sector in society how to think like artists. From the African worldview, the artists, they're not one sector of development. You have history and science and math, and these are subject matters, but artists teach us how to think. Artists define reality. They are how we move, not just what we do. And so it's important that we hold spaces where artists are re-invited to decision-making tables to help facilitate. Artists are also, in the African worldview, they are civic engagers. They're the blowhorn, right? The bullhorn. They invite the people. They bring the rhythm people in, those drums, those singers, those dancers. They naturally have a gravitational pull on the masses, and so they use and leverage that attraction, that connectivity, that rhythm, that vibration to engage people that traditionally wouldn't be interested in sustainable development. And so we have to learn how to use artists in that capacity once again for Black sustainability to have far reach. We can no longer afford to have the, what we call it in the artist worldview, the dead poet society. Art is alive in the African worldview. And we want to make sure that we keep it that way by engaging our young people. So I say all that to say that it's important that spaces like this continue to happen. I'm so thankful for the Black Sustainability Summit. This is your 5th year. The Teaching Artists Institute is in support of your mission. We're glad to now be a part of your mission, and we look forward to continuing this partnership year after year. We again invite you to the Artisan Conference this year. Please go to www.tours.org. You can also register directly at http://bit.ly/artisan2020 and register to meet some of these artists face to face and learn how they are wielding their creative energy in an effort to sustain our people. My name is Kim Poole, and I look forward to seeing you in November. And please, please appreciate the conveners of this space, because Black sustainability is our future.
This message is from the Philadelphia Department of Public Health. COVID-19 is still a threat in our communities, but we can all do something simple to help stop the spread. It's critically important to wear a mask or face covering whenever you're in public or around others. Yes, even while social distancing. Wearing a mask shows you care for yourself and your community and is essential to slowing the spread of COVID-19. So love yourself, love your neighbors, wear a mask.
This WURD Kwanzaa vignette is brought to you by the Curtis Institute of Music. Habari Gani from WURD Radio. The 7 days of Kwanzaa are dedicated to the Nguzo Saba, or the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. Today is the 7th day of Kwanzaa, Imani, or faith. Today is a great day to take an introspective look at how we represent and celebrate our culture as individuals, as a family, and as a community. It's an excellent time to capture stories from our elders and preserve those stories through the arts, as a podcast, or on video. Today is the final day of Kwanzaa and the first day of the new year. This is an opportunity to establish goals and speak into existence a message of peace, prosperity, and togetherness as a family and as a community. For more information about Kwanzaa, visit wordradio.com. This WURD Kwanzaa vignette was brought to you by the Curtis Institute of Music. The Curtis Institute of Music educates and trains exceptional young musicians. And to ensure that admissions are based solely on artistic promise, Curtis makes an investment in each admitted student so that no tuition is charged for their studies. Meet Curtis today at curtis.edu. Groundings with Brother Shamari right now on WURD Radio and wordradio.com.
And welcome back to Groundings, Evolutions, Elevations with Brother Shamari right here on WURD Radio, wordradio.com. Groundings comes at you every Friday from 1 to 4 p.m. and again on Sundays from 6 to 8 p.m. right here, WURD Radio. This caps off our week-long celebration of Kwanzaa on WURD Radio, and we're focusing today on how we bring faith and belief and hope back to our pursuit of Black life, Black liberation, independence, freedom, and empowerment. And how we have to speak our power. We have to affirm our power through our words. Amen. Ashe. Aibobo. Amanla Abibi Fahodie. Abibi Fahodie is a kind word meaning our pursuit of African liberation, African power. Those words, those concepts, those assertions, that authority needs to be how we guide our people and become one with our people as we move forward into this new year, dated 2021 by some. Whatever the date, we need to commit to bringing forward Black life. So let's breathe Black life. Jordan, back to you.
Hey! 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 Boom! Hey! 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 Come on, come on, come on! Hey! Hey! Everybody brother turn, 'cause you got enemies at the gate. Somebody gotta watch.
I believe.
I don't know how my mother walked her troubles down. I don't know how my father stood in the ground. I don't know how my people survived slavery. I do remember, that's why I believe. I don't know how the rivers overflow the plains. I don't know how the snow falls and covers the ground. I don't know how the hurricane swept through the land every now and then. Standing in the rainstorm, I believe. Later, my later, 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 my later. Later, my later, 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 my later, 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 my later, later, I don't know how the angels woke me up this morning. I don't know how the blood still runs through my veins. I don't know how I rate to run another day. Standing in the rainstorm, I believe. My God, He called me in the morning dew. The power of the universe, it knows us my name.
slamming in rain song. I believe.
At Champion Dentistry, we want to make sure your smile is as healthy as it is beautiful. Whether you're calling for a routine checkup, calling about a newly developed toothache, or interested in learning about cosmetic dentistry options. Our services include routine checkups, cosmetic dentistry, gum care, laser dentistry, and more. Champion Dentistry is in the Overbrook Farm section of the city, easily reachable by public transportation. Call 215-473-4717 to schedule an appointment today or visit championdentistry.org, the House of Smiles.
Tune in every Saturday at 4 p.m. for the Did You Know Show with host Bryant Green, right here on WURD 96.1 FM and 900 AM.
This is WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia. Black Talk Media. Groundings with Brother Shamari. Right now on WURD Radio and WURDRadio.com.
And welcome back. Groundings. WURD Radio, WURDRadio.com. People have been asking me to name the song, so it's I Remember, I Believe. Original version. Done.
Many people hold negative stereotypes when it comes to African and their descendants, such as
my audio's on, so I'm gonna keep
lazy,
talking.
savage,
Original version done by Sweet
backward,
Honey and the Rock.
and primitive.
Then the version you
The
heard
same
today,
holds true
one was the
for
first
the
one was by
African
Liz Wright.
The constant images of dilapidated, underdeveloped, and crime-ridden areas being the dominant media portrayal of African countries. But we're much more than that. This documentary series will debunk the myths and will examine various nations and their black African populations in order to connect and unite the struggle of continental African people to that of their diasporic families. Through Pan-Africanism,
I'm a black person.
We're from different countries, but what I would like to tell that we all African.
The youth of today have to continue to come up with ways and means to achieve our solidarity, not only in the diaspora, but around the world, that will lead to our eventual liberation in a lot of ways.
Politics.
Corruption actually is a part of colonization. We learned how to plunder and loot from the colonialists.
And hip-hop.
I mean, hip life is, I invented hip life. I wrote the 2 words. I came up with hip from hip hop and life from high life.
This is Afro Hop.
Afro Hop. The Afro Hop. Afro Hop.
Got luck don't reach to see my dreams some food. Nightmares come true. You don't start married again, man. I say, yeah, I do. If you want, you gotta see with a clear view. Get sure that she try and bless me like I said I do.
In this vicinity, alone on the throne, just me and my soliloquies. Chill at the realest beat, cruise like Penelope, more like Morgan and Freeman. You fit to see, fans want to find them, labels want to sign them. Atheists amazed like which God design them. No gas, no glory. That's why I'm not fearing. I told him, don't worry, Mr. Bobby McFerrin, incidentally. Must have been the sense of me. Had me on smoke clouds, nobody can censor me. Say prayers in the garden, imagine Gethsemane. My energy remedies enemies making the friend of me. Ooh.
And welcome back to Groundings, Evolutions, Elevations with Brother Shamari. I hope you enjoyed what was shared with you in the 2 o'clock hour as we tried to give a Pan-African perspective on the global celebration of Kwanzaa with a particular focus on the idea of remembering and believing on this last day of Kwanzaa, first day of the new year, Imani, which means faith and hope and belief. Thus the focus on remembering and believing. You heard several versions of the song, I Remember, I Believe. And so I want to talk with you a little bit until our guests zoom in. They'll be joining us to continue our conversation with the Teaching Artists Institute and different sisters and brothers of power who are spreading the word of our culture across the diaspora and indeed across the globe. It's one of the things I hope that you got from that 2 o'clock experience is that, again, I repeat, we remember, and I'm asking you, what do you remember? Because how you remember and the stories that you tell yourself from your memory are important. What do you believe? What do you believe in? What are you looking forward to? What do you have faith in? Because that is those stories, the stories of what you remember and the stories of what you aspire to be and believe in, that's where you will draw your power from. You will draw your power from that place. That is the essence of the spirit of Sankofa and the meaning of Sankofa. I'm gonna ask my sister if she could go on mute until we get started. That is the essence of Sankofa, the meaning of Sankofa, indeed the power of Sankofa. That's why I offer you the power words, the power articulations, the power affirmations. Amen, Ashe, Aibobo, Amandla, Abibi Paudie. This quest for our power, our sovereignty, the voicing of it, the speaking of it, the remembering of it, the believing in it, the drawing power and essence and soul, if you will, from it. Protect your words, protect your stories, protect your voice, protect your music, protect your drum, protect your breath, protect Black life. That is our call as we close out 2020 and enter 2021. Our call, our commitment is to be bringers of Black life, liberation, independence, freedom, and empowerment. The song that I focused on was I Remember, I Believe. The original version, to my knowledge, was done by Sweet Honey in the Rock. You heard me play that a little bit earlier in the week. Today, I featured 2 versions by powerful sisters in their own rights. The first one was by Liz Wright, her version of I Remember, I Believe. And then the last one that you heard was from Brenda Ntombo out of South Africa, her version of I Remember, I Believe. And again, it's important. This is Amani. And the question is, what are we going to believe in? As we leave 2020 and we reflect in the spirit of Sankofa, what do we remember? What are the stories we're going to carry forward through our memory? Into what do we believe? What's the solid rock? What's the foundation that we have faith and hope and belief in? Because those stories, those memories and those aspirations are where and from whence we will draw our power. What is the power going to feed us towards? What's the currency? The currency is our story. The currency is our word. The currency is our language, our song, our dance. You know, everybody's talking about buying Black. You can't buy your way into power, y'all. Sorry to burst your bubble about that. You can't buy and consume and spend your way into power. You have to live into that. And so the most important currency we have regarding that is our story, our word, our song, our language. So we have to become better stewards of that in order to move forward. You know, we have to become better stewards of the language, the words, the intentions behind the words, our actions, our thoughts, our expressions, and our deeds. And so I'm looking forward to having a conversation with several members of the Teaching Artists Institute and some of the other sisters and brothers who have been in their zones of the world celebrating a global Kwanzaa 2020 celebration. So Jordan, I'm gonna ask if you could check on Facebook, not Facebook, on Zoom, and let the guests in so that we can get started in our conversation. I see a sister Njeri, so I'm gonna invite her in right now into the dialogue. Sister Njeri, and I'm not sure if I'm saying your name correctly, but I see your name up on the Zoom, so I'm gonna invite you in. Greetings, how are you?
How are you? How are you? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I'm Brother Shamari, and welcome to my show is called Groundings, Evolutions, Elevations with Brother Shamari. And so I see Sister Angela coming in. I'm waiting for some of your other colleagues, but if you could get us started, tell us a little bit about yourself. And, I don't know if you celebrated Kwanzaa before or if this is a recent time for you, but give us a little bit of background about yourself and your relationship with the idea and the celebration of Kwanzaa.
So thank you so much for having me. So my name is Rahab Njeri. I am Kikuyu from Kenya. Yes, I am a historian where I am focusing on, my research is mostly on post-colonial studies, African history, gender, the history of Blacks in Germany. And I recently wrote my PhD on the construction and representation of Blackness in Canada. So I researched 3 case studies, and I think one which a lot of African Americans know about is about Africville. So I went to Africville, did my research there, met former descendants of the area because it was destroyed in the 1960s. And and I just finished my dissertation on what it means to be Black in Canada. I am also involved with the International African School in the Netherlands, where together with Odilia, we teach not only Kiswahili, so I welcome everybody who wants to learn Kiswahili to join us in the International African School. And I also do the history part, the research, mostly, trying to get back to our roots by researching our own history as people of African descent, no matter where we are located geographically.
Well, until the rest of your squad get here, they left you out on the island. So I have some questions for you that have nothing to do. I'll wait for them for these other things. So help me out. So what I would like you to do, number one, you mentioned you're a Kikuyu.
Yes.
Now, so most people might not know what that means, but that means a lot to me as it relates particularly to what we call over here the Mau Mau. Can you make that connection for people so that people understand what that actually means and how important that history and that connection is?
Yes, I am the great-great-granddaughter of a Mau Mau warrior. And my great-great-grandfather is 120 years, still alive.
Wow.
Yes, so as a Kikuyu, I do carry that blood, that activism in me. Kikuyu, of course, is one of the tribes in Kenya, and they were one of the freedom fighters. And Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, the former president, was also a Kikuyu. And most of the Mau Mau fighters were also Kikuyu and also from other tribes like the Meru. So yes, so that's, for me, I do carry the history of my people in me. And it's, I always say that I ate it with a spoon.
So let me ask you a language question. Muingi, what does that mean?
It means the people, Mwege.
All right, thank you. I just wanted to make sure I was right. That's my son's middle name. He's a Kayaman, named after Boak Kayaman in Haiti, and his middle name is Muingi.
Yeah.
Meaning, so cool. I'm loving this. So I see your other sisters coming in. It would help me a lot if y'all actually put your name up. So if you could rename yourself, because I know your name is not Financial Unity, and I don't want to call you Financial Unity on the air, or Global African Shiro. So if y'all could throw your names up real quick, that would be helpful. I'm gonna come right your way. So I thank you, Sister Njeri, and talk a little bit about Kwanzaa and your affiliation with it. I'm not sure if you've been celebrating it in the past or whether it's relatively new to you, and so give us some insight regarding that.
So of course, as a historian, I'm a historian of North American studies. So I did learn about Kwanzaa. I know the historical background of Kwanzaa, why it's celebrated and the meaning, but I also do understand, the relationship of Kwanzaa and the African continent, in particular with the Swahili language. And as we were talking now, I think 2 days ago, when we were talking about Ujima, and the question was, if we people of African descent, especially those coming continental Africans, if you understand what Kwanzaa is, and my answer was yes, we do understand it, but in our own different languages, but not so much in Kiswahili, because not everybody, even in Kenya or in Tanzania or in Uganda speaks Swahili. Right. So, the 7 principles of Kwanzaa are there already innate, and this is part of the African identity, but we do not call them the 7 principles, or we do not call them Nguzo Saba. They probably do call them in their own language, or have different names, but at the end of the day, it's still part of our African culture and our African heritage. So yes, I do know about Kwanzaa.
I appreciate that. This is my last kind of Kenya specific question, then we'll bring other people in. I don't want to monopolize all your time. I have this thought that the Kenya Land of Freedom Army, or the Mau Mau, don't get enough credit as, to me, one of the seminal movements that then really led to the later independence of Ghana and other places, because I believe that their resistance against the English colonizers mattered and really kind of hurt the British in a particular way. Your thoughts about that? I just think that the Mau Mau don't get enough respect for their role in our liberation struggle.
And you're correct, they don't. Even in Kenya itself, they don't get enough recognition. We have forgotten them in history books. Unfortunately, they have not been able to reap the labor of their work, of their struggle. Most of them have died poor. Their descendants are still poor. And this is just a call out on, our governments and everybody who is out there, that they should be really rethink and to a certain degree be ashamed of themselves that we let our own freedom fighters just be forgotten in history, and that, we think, we know all the other British people, but nobody speaks, for instance, about Dedan and Kimathi. Right? We speak of only specific people, but we're not speaking about the women of the Mau Mau. Yes. We're not speaking about the descendants of these fighters, how, at the end, most of them did not get land, they did not get payment for that. And, we celebrate in Kenya Mashujaa Day. And then for me, it's always, a day when I have stomach pains, because I know from a historical point of view that you are celebrating actually people who haven't gained their independence yet, because they are still, they're still in that space that they found themselves in the 60s. And so that's why I think it's very important that even we as African people, continental Africans, that we should acknowledge our own and write them back into history, and not just erase them through the colonizers' history.
Thank you for that. I see Sister Miriam. I'm going to bring her back. I think she was with us earlier this week. And of course she goes, "Hi, how are you?" Briefly again, introduce yourself to our listening audience, and then I think I also see Sister Angela. So I would like you to, we have about 3 minutes until commercial, so if each of you can take 90 seconds and just introduce yourself and talk about the global Kwanzaa celebration. We're going into commercial. When we come back, we'll pick up from there. So Sister Miriam.
Hi, I'm Mariam Mwinyembegu from Tanzania, but I currently reside in the Netherlands. I've been here for about 25 years plus, and I currently own a bed and breakfast in Tanzania that focuses on Tanzanian culture, the Swahili culture.
Appreciate it. Greetings and welcome. Sister Angela, Financial Unity.
I'm here. Greetings. Yes, of course. Thank you, Brother Shamari, for having us again. We are live doing our Global African Kwanzaa celebration. I am here as a partner with the Teaching Artists Institute, and also the international host for the Global African Sheroes Union, as well as the founder of the Institution of Financial Unity. So we are incorporating all these principles, not just today, but starting with today for this whole entire year. So thanks again for having us. Our other program is still going, but the rest of our crew will be joining us sometime after the break. Thank you, brother.
That's great. Looking forward. We're coming up on the commercial break. When we come back, I want to start with you, Sister Angela, and talk about how this idea of the Global Kwanzaa celebration came about. And then just want you all to reflect on your week-long programming. What are some of the highlights and some of the things that you're looking forward to carrying into the new year, 2021? I am Brother Shamari, Eric Keith Grimes. This is Groundings, Evolutions, and Elevations with Brother Shamari. Coming up on the commercial break, when we come back, we'll keep our conversation going with our sisters, the global sheroes of the world. We need some global sheroes, and I'm glad to be a part of a conversation with them, so stay tuned.
Hi, Philly. I'm City Councilwoman Cindy Bass. As the holidays approach, we've all heard the news. A vaccine for COVID-19 is coming. However, now is not the time to let our guard down. As COVID-19 continues to spread, keep wearing your mask, practice social distancing, and avoid large get-togethers. It'll take time before we all get vaccinated, so until then, keep yourself, your family, and your community safe, and we will get through this pandemic together. Philly, stay safe and stop the spread.
WURD Radio presents the following wellness tip to support our listeners with mindfulness and motivation as we continue to navigate the pandemic together.
Hi, this is Halana, your resident health and wellness coach with tips to help you stay well. We breathe every day and have been doing so since before we were born. But wait, let's think about this for a moment. Something as simple as breathing can enhance our health and well-being. When we breathe mindfully, we slow down, take deep breaths, and activate our parasympathetic system to relax our bodies. Mindful breathing goes like this. Number 1, find a comfortable place to sit still for a few minutes. Number 2, close your eyes and relax your hands on your thighs. Number 3, take a deep breath in and count to 3. Then exhale your breath and count to 3. Do this 5 times. We sometimes think mindful breathing has to be an intense experience, yet even just a few minutes a day can make a big difference. Go ahead and try it today. Stay well with WURD. Happy living.
Stay well with WURD. Connect with us at wordradio.com. Groundings with Brother Shamari right now on WURD Radio and wordradio.com.
And welcome back to Groundings, Evolutions, Elevations with Brother Shamari right here, WURD Radio, wordradio.com, 96.1 FM, 900 AM on your radio. You can also check us out Facebook Live by simply typing WURD Radio, and you can also check us out on YouTube Live as well. So Groundings, Evolutions, Elevation comes at you every Friday from 1 to 4 p.m. right here on WURD Radio. I'm asking Sister Angela if she can go on mute. Thank you. WURD Radio. And we also come back at you on Sundays from 6 to 8 p.m. So I'm talking with two global sheroes, Sister Njeti and Sister Mariam, and we're talking about Kwanzaa. So can you all give us some insight on how this idea of a global Kwanzaa celebration in 2020 came together? And I'd be intrigued to hear from you, each of you, what stood out for you as you all wrap up your week-long celebration of Kwanzaa. So let's start with Sister Njeti and then Sister Mariam.
Yes, so thank you. Yes, this is something that I had spoken with Odelia from International African School. We had wanted, we talked about having for the first time a Kwanzaa because this is also something that a lot of people in Europe don't know about. And even if they know, it's maybe just individual people who've read something about African Americans, but it's not something that is quite usual here. So our idea was really, making or opening up new spaces of Kwanzaa within the European context, but also having that connection between Europe, the African continent, and African Americans. In order for us to celebrate this Kwanzaa, which is really about our African history, it's really about our Africanness, our umoja, our unity as people of African descent and as children who come from Mother Africa. So for me, of course, as a historian, it just spoke to my heart and my soul, seeing us connecting as people coming from one place and having one mother, that we were able to connect with each other, even if it's from a virtual point of view. But we were able to share our stories, and we were able to see each other, and we were able to share our narratives, and actually make that connection, realizing that we are one people, that I don't look any different from any other African American sister, or any other, auntie. And, through this Kwanzaa, I have seen many of my aunties, as I said in my speech, a lot of my aunties, a lot of my grandmothers, and a lot of my uncles. And so I do really feel that connection, even if I'm in Europe. And I think this is just fascinating. Also the libation, this is what our forefathers have been doing. This is the language of our ancestors. And so African school having offered this opportunity for us as people of African descent in the European context to be able to have this, and we hope that it's going to continue even next year and years to come, is really a legacy that we are going to leave for our children. And so I'm very glad that it's taking place, and I hope that it continues.
Thank you, appreciate that. Sister Mariam.
For me, it was my first time to take part, and it's also the first time I started learning about it. I haven't heard of it before, and I never participated in it before. But when I was asked to take part, I was immediately interested when I learned about it, and when Kim told me what it entails, the Nguzo Saba, the 7 principles, it immediately triggered the national anthem for Tanzania. All the principles that are spoken of this are the lyrics of our national anthem. So
you know I'm about to ask you to share that with us then, right?
Okay, I'll tell you in English because the Swahili then is too much. But the Tanzanian national anthem has the same melody as the South African national anthem because the melody was written by a South African composer. The lyrics goes, first it's God bless Africa, and then it comes God bless Tanzania. So it starts with God bless Africa, bless its leaders, wisdom, unity, and peace. These are our shields, Africa and its people. Bless Africa, bless Africa. Bless us, the children of Africa. God bless Tanzania. Grant eternal freedom and unity to its women, men, and children. God bless Tanzania and its people. Bless Tanzania, bless Tanzania, bless us, the children of Tanzania. So for me, immediately when I heard the 7 principles, I immediately thought wisdom, unity, peace. And then the second verse, eternal freedom and unity. And the fact that in our national anthem, we really talk about not only just unity of a man. I know, I don't know that well the American Constitution, but you guys talk always man. Every man has this, it's a man's right, but we have men, women, and children.
Yes.
We talk about its leaders.
These I'm not a you guy. I don't rock with America like that. So that's a they. That's a they.
they. Okay, but you are. So for me, it immediately spoke to me. I said, "Oh, they're talking about my song." For example, I was just thinking, these are our shield, the 7 guzos. We always thrive for wisdom, unity, peace, to have that imani with each other. So for me, I was immediately interested, and this is what I kept on hearing the whole week. This whole week, we've been sharing wisdom. We've been united, and there's been a lot of peace in my heart that I don't feel alone anymore here in Europe. I know now that I have my brothers and sisters over here in Germany, in France, now in the States as well. So it gives me a sense of peace that in this fight, I'm not alone. That's what I've learned in this celebration.
And I think that's a powerful thing. And so as I was saying with Sister Njeri earlier, I think that the Kenya Land of Freedom Army, the Mau Mau, don't get their due regarding just being on the vanguard of liberation struggle, particularly armed liberation struggle, and the important role that that's going to play in our quest for Black life. I similarly feel that Julius Nyerere is an underrated Pan-African godfather, for lack of a better word, grandfather, godfather. People talk about Nkrumah, people talk about a lot of other people, but I don't think he gets his due as really one of the seminal figures of creating a space of Pan-Africanism. So talk a little bit about Julius Nyerere and, you know, your thoughts about that statement.
Julius Nyerere. That is a shame. It's really a shame that you don't hear as much about him. But then again, it all depends where your stations are, what you listen to. As a Tanzanian, all our references are to our Baba. He's our nation, he's the father of our nation. So whenever I speak to my parents, especially my father, who's an ex-politician, for him, all his references are with Julius Nyerere. All the other ones come after. But as a Tanzanian, I don't feel like he's mispresented or he's not presented enough, because that's all I hear. And I feel kind of like it's not so positive, because I miss then to hear about the other leader, the other great leaders. But for me, all our references, all my references for my parents are from Julius Nyerere. Even now, as we were talking about elections last month, they were still comparing Magufuli with, oh, he's almost like the founding father. Oh, we found a new father. So yeah, maybe to the outside world, he's not that spoken of. But as Tanzanians, we still refer to him as the founding father. But then again, it's our own fault. I always say, if something is not presented well enough or not heard enough, you can't blame anybody else but yourself. So as Tanzanians, we don't really do that much of promotion of our great leaders or even our current leaders at the moment. We don't speak of them. Other people speak of Magufulis, but Tanzanians don't post things of the great things that Magufuli is doing. So we can only blame ourselves.
All right, well, I appreciate that knowledge and that insight. What I want each of you to do, and I don't know if Sister Angie's ready, so I'm gonna start with Sister Njeri. I have a thought that the idea, the celebration of Kwanzaa might be one of the most potentially powerful vehicles for the transmission and the relational aspects and the cultural dissemination of the idea of Pan-Africanism. I just believe that it has that power and potential because it speaks and weaves and moves through so much of African culture. So I want your thoughts about that. What is the potential of Kwanzaa and the celebration and the principles and the symbols and the language and the culture and all that goes into it? The potential of it as a vehicle that really travels the globe and travels our diaspora and unifies us in the spirit of Pan-Africanism. Sister Njeri, I want to start with you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think it is. I truly do believe that this is the beginning of something that is going to be great. One example that I would like to mention here is, for instance, Sheriff Bamba. You know, he's an incredible author. He is a wonderful author. If you read one of his books, which I still do read, The Black Napoleon, you know, which is really about introducing us to the West African culture, especially, you know, the histories of people of Guinea, of Liberia. And then, you know, and if you know a little bit about the history of France and Napoleon, and you know what they credit him for from a historical point of view. And then you read the book, you're just fascinated of how much power and how much our narratives, you know, are very powerful and really do speak about our own histories. So I think Kwanzaa is really an instrument and a vehicle that is going to join us globally, but also decolonize our minds, right? Because this is where we meet and we speak about us, for us, to us. So through the Kwanzaa, we are building each other. Through the Kwanzaa, we are coming together as a family of a global village, I almost want to say, or, you know, as a global community, and really taking into our own hands and appreciating and putting value to what we have been able to achieve and will continue to achieve. And for me, in particular, as a Black woman and as a mother living in a country like Germany, this is very, very important because, you know, the history of Germany, we still are erased. Our histories are not told. Our narratives, you know, are not included in the national narrative. We still continue to be, you know, in these invisible spaces. Although, you know, Germany and Africa have had a long colonial and a brutal relationship, right? And nobody talks about that. So Kwanzaa for me is, bringing it back to Europe and then bringing it again back to the African continent, it's going to break away all these barriers and these boundaries that separate us as people. It's going to bring us together because our languages are going, as Ngugi wa Thiong'o says, language is culture, and if we want to decolonize our mind, we can only be able to do that together. And when we do that together, then it really doesn't matter if you're an African American living somewhere in New York, or even if I am a Black German living somewhere in Cologne, or Mariam is a Black woman somewhere in the Netherlands. It really doesn't matter. What is very important is that we realize that we are one people, and that my downfall is your downfall, and that we come from a place of great and genius histories, right? We are the first people, and when we learn this and teach our children this, I am sure that in a couple of years, especially here in the European context, things are really going to change, and our children are going to have a bright future, because Kwanzaa is going to bring us together. Kwanzaa is that, is the spirit of our ancestors speaking to us and telling us, you need to unite as children of Mother Africa. It doesn't matter where you are located. You could be in Brazil and still we might not speak the same language, but there's something that unites us together, and that's our history, our Africanness, rooted in the African soil. And so I think Kwanzaa has to be global, and this is the first, and it's going to be, and I'm so glad. That's why I said in the beginning, my heart is just singing and, speaking to my soul, because I know this is something that is going to be great. And when we have people like Sheriff Vamba, who is really bringing that, the other part of West African history, even to people who are from the English part of Africa, because even there we are disconnected with each other, right? We do not know much about what is happening in West Africa, neither do they know what is happening in East Africa or in Anglophone countries. So I think this is really a space that is going to enable us to unite, have faith in what we can be able to do, come together, Ujamaa, as people, right, and really build each other.
Can you share one more time the name of the book and the author, Black Napoleon, and the author's name?
Yes, he was there yesterday. He was one of the speakers. His name is Sheriff Vamba. Yeah. And his first book, if you want to get introduced to amazing reading, is The Land of My Fathers. And the other one was The Black Napoleon, which was written in 2015.
Thank you. Sister Marion, your thoughts on the potential of Kwanzaa as a vehicle, a currency, a spirit, a breath of life, a breath of force that can travel through the continent, weaving different cultures together as, to me, one of the essential elements of a Pan-African kind of relational currency? Yeah,
for me, I think Kwanzaa couldn't have arrived at the best moment as now for me. First of all, it's 2021, so we're going with first, number one, which is Kwanzaa from the first. And the situation right now, I think not only in the Netherlands, but worldwide regarding people of color, there is no way of going any lower than we have already gone as a race. So we can only go up. There's only a rise from where we are now. Everywhere Black people are tired, are fed up. There's no more tolerance for the mistreatment that we have received. So for me, it has arrived at the right time in Europe. Outside America, Kwanzaa has arrived to me at the right time. And I was just talking with my Dutch colleague that I met through Kwanzaa this week. And we were talking about here in the Netherlands, focusing on the first article of the Human Rights Declaration, which says we are all born free. And in the we, I told her that in the spirit of Kwanzaa, we should focus on the word mtu, which in Swahili means a person, people. So we must, first of all, fight or being recognized as human. So if they're going to talk about human rights, and these rights don't apply to Black people, that means they're excluding us from the word human. We are not human. So we are not fighting for Black lives. We are fighting to be recognized first as humans, because these rights are already here and yet they don't apply to us. So for me, Kwanzaa has arrived at the right time, and I think it's going to take off for sure in Europe, especially with the group here in the Netherlands that we've met. Yeah. It's definitely something that we are preparing to repeat in the years to come.
I appreciate that. What I would like each of you to do is to let our listening audience know and people know if they want to keep in touch with you or your work. I don't know if you publish stuff, if you have a website, how would people reach out to each of you to stay in touch? And then we're coming up on a commercial break. And when we come back, Sister Angela, I hope you're in a position to give us a final word and a final sign out. But Sister Njeri, Sister Mariam, how do people keep in touch with you?
For me, if you want to keep in touch, please check me out at International African School. You'll find my email there and my details. And yeah, that's one way that you can find me. I'm also on Facebook, but I'll also put that on International African School.
Thank you. Sister Mariam.
For me, you can reach me at www.bswahili.com, Bswahili as in B, and Swahili together as one word, bswahili.com. And my contacts, my phone number and emails are all there.
bswahili.com and International African School. What's the other one? Thank you, Sister Njeri, Sister Mariam, for joining us. We're coming up on a commercial break. When we come back, we'll have the closing words from another of the global African sheroes. That would be Sister Angela right here, stateside, Cleveland, Ohio. Stay tuned.
This WURD Kwanzaa vignette is brought to you by the Curtis Institute of Music. Habari Gani from WURD Radio. The 7 days of Kwanzaa are dedicated to the Nguzo Saba, or the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. Today is the 7th day of Kwanzaa, Imani, or faith. Today is a great day to take an introspective look at how we represent and celebrate our culture as individuals, as a family, and as a community. It's an excellent time to capture stories from our elders and preserve those stories through the arts, as a podcast, or on video. Today is the final day of Kwanzaa and the first day of the new year. This is an opportunity to establish goals and speak into existence a message of peace, prosperity, and togetherness as a family and as a community. For more information about Kwanzaa, visit WURDradio.com. This WURD Kwanzaa vignette was brought to you by the Curtis Institute of Music. The Curtis Institute of Music educates and trains exceptional young musicians. And to ensure that admissions are based solely on artistic promise, Curtis makes an investment in each admitted student so that no tuition is charged for their studies. Meet Curtis today at curtis.edu. Go. Keystone Plus and JD's Auto Body and Painting. Habari Gani from WURD Radio. The 7 days of Kwanzaa are dedicated to the Nguzo Saba, or the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. Today is the 7th day of Kwanzaa, Imani, or faith. Today is a great day to take an introspective look at how we represent and celebrate our culture as individuals, as a family, and as a community. It's an excellent time to capture stories from our elders and preserve those stories through the arts, as a podcast, or on video. Today is the final day of Kwanzaa and the first day of the new year. This is an opportunity to establish goals and speak into existence a message of peace, prosperity, and togetherness as a family and as a community. For more information about Kwanzaa, visit WURDradio.com. This WURD Kwanzaa vignette was brought to you by Pico, powering communities, Keystone Plus, and JD's Auto Body and Painting for all your auto body and detailing needs during this holiday season. As a business owner, hiring and developing people from the community that your company serves is one of the best ways to show commitment to that community. Let WURD Radio help with Livelihood, our new initiative that connects Philadelphians with companies like yours. We'll feature your business, open employment opportunities, and resources to connect your company with talent and ensure that you reach your target demographic. To learn more about how Livelihood can help you build your team, visit wordworks.com. That's WURDworks.com. Livelihood is supported by the Nightland Fest's Local News Transformation Fund, Borealis Philanthropies Racial Equity and Journalism Fund, and the Solutions Journalism Network. Groundings with Brother Shamari right now on WURD Radio and WURDradio.com.
And welcome back to the final segment of our week-long celebration of Kwanzaa. So we're going to close out. We're going to close out strong. We heard going into our commercial break from Sister Mary and Sister Njeri. We got Tanzania and Kenya and the Netherlands and Germany covered. Now we're coming stateside. We're going to close out with Sister Financial Unity. That's Angela. And I see Kim has finally joined us. So this is our final segment, y'all. Our time is tight. I want to go to Sister Angela. Any final thoughts about your week-long celebration of Global Kwanzaa? Then Sister Kim, couple minutes to close out with you. And remember, as you close out, let people know how they can reach you all. Again, it's cool looking at y'all up here on the stands, the Global Sheroes. It's like our own personal African, Pan-African Sister Avenger Squad. That's cool. I'm glad to be a part of that. So, Sister Angela.
Ashe. Well, thank you, Brother Shamari, for allowing us to come on and share what we're doing. We've just culminated our 7-day first Global African Kwanzaa celebration, and it brought together women, men, artists, children from all over the world, all over the diaspora. And we've actually made history, I would say. The question that you asked before, yes. The question you asked the sisters, like, is this a catalyst? Is this a beginning? Is this progress towards the realization of Pan-Africanism? And I absolutely would say yes. This is what we do as practitioners in practice. And many times we are trying to figure out how to come together, how to practice umoja, and we can do that around principles. That's something we can agree on. There's a lot of things that maybe we don't agree on, but we can agree on principles. And so Kwanzaa absolutely can be that foundational concept, element, principle, you know, that thing that we unite and build on. And so I think our action, because I'm always into solutions and actions, is that with intent, we have to continue and not wait till the next December to implement the principles of Kwanzaa. So as a sisterhood, we have some work to do as we invoke our Imani to determine our Nia and bringing about the realization of Pan-Africanism under the principles of Kwanzaa. And so that's what we shall do. Umoja to the gender.
Look at you with all that little Swahili stuff you were throwing in there. I see you. You know, I was waiting for the Cleveland side to come out. You trying to get all key Swahili on it. So if people want to reach out to you and keep in touch with you, and also if people want to join in the effort, like, you know, this is a burgeoning, powerful thing. How do people kind of get in the mix with you all?
Absolutely. If people want to reach out to me, I'm available on Facebook, Instagram. You can hit me in my DM at Financial Unity. Visit our website, financialunity.org. As in collaboration with the Teaching Artists Institute, they can also reach out to us via email at globalafricanwomen@gmail.com, globalafricanwomen@gmail.com, and we will, connect.
So the Global African Brothers, we on our own, we got to create our own thing, or is there like a complementarity that we can work out at some point? I'm asking you that, Sister Kim, because, you know, let the brothers and the sisters know how we work together to make this thing happen, or do we have to go do our own thing? Let me know, Sister Kim.
Listen, we are not feminists. That is something that white women created that they use for their benefit, a conversation between them and their king. We're African-centered women, so we believe in balance. We need our brothers. Who would we be without them? But what I do know is that women are the first teachers of children, and that when the African women decide that this is time for us to rise, when they decide that it's time for us to win, we will win. There's no mistake about it. So we, in the Shiro Sisterhood, we need the support of our brothers. Our heroes, they're our protection, they're our partners. At the same time, we focus on educating and emancipating and empowering financially women, because we know that they are the center of community, and our nations only rise as high as our women. But Brother Shamari, we definitely want you to be one of our heroes over at WURD Radio. I mean, Philadelphia's own Black.
I'm here. I'm holding down my spot. I got y'all. I got y'all.
Nice.
So, Sister Kim, let people know, real quickly, your final thoughts. Reflect on the week from your perspective, and then let people know how they weigh in, how they keep in touch, and we'll be building as we go forward. I'm definitely, if you all are interested, want to kind of create a space where on a regular basis we can have these kind of dialogues. I'm a esoteric kind of guy. but I'm also very superficial. Like, I love the fact that I'm looking at Black women, all I see is like beautiful locks and our culture represented in both the aesthetic, but also the mindset of it all, man. This is motivating for me, because like you said, then I know that is the way it gets passed on to the children. It's the way it gets passed on throughout the globe. And once that foundation's there, a brother got to walk as a real brother into that space. You can't come weak into this space with these sisters. So I look forward to this journey.
Nice. Well, I can't say that I'm an example of what the African woman is supposed to be aesthetically. I definitely wear my super lashes. I'll beat that face. Don't let this.
Well, you already got one now, so I'm good.
Makeup with the best of them. But I do understand that our women have to heal, glow, grow. I'll never do anything in violation of my temple. We're not getting a whole bunch of piercings and bleaching creams. We're not doing none of that nonsense. But I appreciate the fact that you're openly appreciating our mind, but more importantly, our unity, because we have to begin to change the narrative. The story is that Black women don't come together. And what the Sheroes are doing is we came together across the world, literally. We have 12 different countries represented, and women did that. Black women did that to put together an African global Kwanzaa celebration, and our men supported us in that.
Can you name those countries?
That's why it's what's successful.
Can you name the countries that came together?
Absolutely. So our main partnership was between the Netherlands and the U.S. That's two. We had, of course, their former Dutch colony, Suriname in South America. We had our sisters from Canada. We had our support from Ghana, Cameroon, Liberia. We also had the Gambia. Let's see, where else did we have? We had performances from Tanzania and Zambia. We also had participants participating from the audience in Kenya. Wow, maybe we had more than 12, because I think I'm missing somebody. Angela, Marianne, help me out.
South Africa, Netherlands, Germany, France.
Germany, yes, the Italian, no, maybe nobody from Italy, but the European delegation was on lock. They were definitely there. Dutch Wonderland across Europe. I feel like we're missing someone. Who are we missing? Guadeloupe. Yes, Auntie.
Okay.
And Guadeloupe. A lot of people know about that French Caribbean island. They forget about them, but they were present. Yes.
Nigeria was there.
Oh, all right. So yeah, it's way more than 12 now. So for the record, I just want to say, like, I think that when you talk about history, like, to pull off something of the magnitude that you all pulled off, to have that programming every day of Kwanzaa with all of that global representation, I just want to personally say to you, like, just tuning into that, seeing that was an unbelievable offering to our people. And in the spirit of Imani, meaning faith and hope and belief, I think that's something that we can see, the potential of the unity, the overcoming of this narrative that we as a diaspora don't get along, we don't show love to each other, we can't organize, we can't coordinate. Shout out to you sisters and the brothers who helped and supported you all for bringing forward something that was a beautiful offering to our people. Congratulations.
Thank you, Shamari. I appreciate that. I mostly appreciate it because for us in the diaspora, especially in the U.S., you see, when I look at my sisters in Europe, they always have a mother country. They can always directly trace their lineage to Kenya or Tanzania, and usually they have preserved the language. But for us, they tell us we have no language. You have no culture. You have no flag. You have no home base. And so for us to be able to give to them a reaffirmation of their Africanity, for us to be able to help bring into alignment the promotion and preservation of the African identity in the diaspora when they said we had none. To me, this is an extra special proud day, because it means that even though they tried to kill our spirit, that we built a culture within a culture, and like the rose that grew from concrete, we're indestructible. That African spirit is still there, and we demonstrated that this week. So thank you so much. And thank you, all of my sisters and brothers in Europe, for letting us bring Kwanzaa to you, because you had to say yes. So I shout out again to the International African School and Mariam and Odilia, my Sheroes in the Netherlands, and Njari, from Germany, she's there too. Sis, I see you. My doctor from Kenya, Kikuye, mother tribe and language. And I thank you guys so much for being a part of this experience.
So how do people, one more time as you close out, Sister Kim, how do people keep in touch with the Teaching Artists Institute and the different kind of things that you're into? Right down the street in Baltimore, by the way.
Yes, we have to connect. Philly, our sister city. But check me out. This is not difficult. Find me on WhatsApp. This is the international standard in communication. Download it today. If you want to be international, your technology has to facilitate that. Download WhatsApp, Black people, and you can have my personal number. I'm not complicated. +1 443 739 0941. I'm going to say it again because I'm from Baltimore and they say I talk fast and broken. So I'm going to say it again. 443 739 0941. Hit me up direct. If you're interested in connecting virtually with the global African family, if you want to connect in person, we do tours to the continent. We have a tour going to Tanzania this year. We have a tour going to South Africa for the conference. We're doing trainings. If you're a professor, if you're a student, we can facilitate credits at your university. Hit us up. Contact me directly. And of course, because I'm so bad at social media, please like us on Facebook. Help us raise our international appearance. We need people to like us.
I'm terrible at that too. I'm terrible at social media as well.
It's a job. It's definitely a job. And I respect you people that have millions of followers because I don't know what y'all are doing, but you're doing it well. So please go and like us. That's facebook.com/teachingartist. Thank you guys so much. Habari Ghani Imani. And I look forward to doing this all over again with you next year.
Well, to the global Sheroes, the African Sheroes, I thank you all for your spirit, your energy, your purpose, your sisterhood, that everything that you brought to this. The offering is greatly appreciated, and I think it's going to be a springboard, as we were saying earlier, to really, for us as a people to understand the power, the Pan-African power of Kwanzaa as probably the most essential relational Pan-African currency that we have. Let's use it in 2021 and beyond to bring African sovereignty and Black power back to our people. I'm Eric Keith Grimes with the Shamari. It's time for me to sign off. I'll talk with y'all on Sunday, 6 o'clock p.m. Stay tuned.